Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 3 of building Erebor in Lego. So last episode we finally started building on the gate. As you can see, it's only 5 bricks tall, but we gotta start somewhere, and I already noticed some flaws in my design because these walls right here, these 3 walls, they are kind of flimsy. So we're going to add some support later on the video or maybe next episode, because the whole mountain is going to rest on these walls, so it has to be very sturdy, very stable. So we gotta fix that. But for this episode, I want to focus on making some landscape up front, because we don't want to have like this ugly gray base plate up front. We want to have some like natural trees, some mud, some grass, like to just make it more interesting look to look at. So the color I'm going to use for that is dark tan for the base color. And then also I'm going to add like some mossy green, some olive green, just to add like some dirty looking grass like in the pictures. And when I was looking at the picture, I noticed there was like a small river going over here. So we have to go and implement that. So for the river, I'm going to use the same technique as the Ninjago City sets. So they use like a black color underneath and then like trans light blue tiles on top of it, so it gives that like natural water feel to it, and it has like this really cool like effect where it really looks like water. Like it's the best possible way to make water in Lego in my opinion. But the only thing I'm going to change is I'm not going to use like light blue, I'm going to use dark blue. And then I'm also going to use like some 1x1 studs in just a transparent color, or just like slopes in a transparent color. That way it looks like the river is just like going and not just like standing still like here. So that's the plan for today. So I think I'm going to first start with making the river. Then I'm going to add like some dark tan panels, and then in the end maybe add some like more details with like grass and plants and just some foliage. So I'm going to place my camera in this angle over here, and I'm going to make a time lapse of me just like building some landscape. So let's do it right now. Alright, so I hope you guys like that small time lapse. I spent a few hours building this basic design of the river, and it's not done yet. I do want to add like some small details on the river and on the rocks as well. But before I can finish the river, I need to add like some plates on the design, so I can like make the rocks blend in into the landscape. So I need to place like some plates on the side before I can finish the rockworks, and then maybe I can like add some transclear slopes on the river, so the river looks like it's making waves and it's crashing into the rockworks, and it's like flowing through the river. I want to add like more life to this design. And I know I said I was going to use this part for the river and create like the same design as like the Ninjago City sets. But before I made like this river, I made this small template. And as you guys can see, this is what it would look like if I used the dark trans blue tiles. And it's just like too smooth, and it has like no dynamics into it. So that's why I went over to use 1x1 studs, and I made some multiple color combinations. I used like trans light blue and trans clear with some different backgrounds. I used dark tan and blue and light gray. And overall I thought this color, and my girlfriend thought as well, like this color combination with like the blue and the trans light blue looked the best. So that's why I use it in my mock, as you guys can see. And from a distance it gives like this nice glow and clear water effect. But of course if you zoom in, you can clearly see it's just like 1x1 studs. But from a distance it looks good, so that's what I went for. And now I'm going to add like some landscape to the sides and just make this river a more complete feel to it. So I'm going to place my camera over there and make a second time lapse this video, and hopefully the river is completely done by the end of this video. So enjoy the second time lapse. Alright guys, so as you saw in the time lapse, I managed to fill in this gap right here. So all the bricks are in place, everything looks smooth from the front, there is no base plate visible. So everything looks good. Of course, next week I'm going to add some more details, make it look more finished. And then another thing I did in the time lapse was adding like small transclear parts to make it look like the river is like making waves into the corners, so like the water is like clashing into the rocks. Maybe I'm going to add more transclear parts, maybe I'm going to take away a few parts, because I'm not really 100% sure with this design. It looks odd in a few places. So that's the design for this corner, and then on the other corner I did the exact same thing. In the middle of the corner I added no transclear parts, so maybe I'm going to add like a few, but I'm not sure. But then the main thing I did in the time lapse was experimenting with the landscape. So as you guys can see, I added another layer of slopes, so it's actually 2 bricks tall. Then I added some dark tan plates with some smaller dark green 1x2 plates. Then I added another layer of slopes, and then I did the exact same thing with dark tan and some dark green. Just to give it like a little bit more of color variation, I added some sand green and some olive green just to spice things up. And then I don't know why, but I think the pine trees that Lego made a lot of years ago, they kind of look good in this area. So I'm going to like place 2 pine trees here and maybe like 2 or 3 on this side. But I'm not going to finish the entire landscape. That's something I will be doing in the next episode. So I hope you guys like this episode. Make sure to hit like, leave a comment what you guys want to see in the next episode. Maybe you have a cool suggestion what I can add to make it more realistic. Please hit the subscribe button, and I hope you guys like this video, and make sure to come back to episode 4.